What is happening? It is time to talk new music. This is The Drop. I'm Ruben Dominguez. That's Quinn Bishop. How are you, buddy?
Hey, man, I'm good. It's good to be here.
We got a
talking
long
about music
list.
Yeah, we do. And you know what? Let's give this guy a mention this week because he's going to debut again, or he's going to continue his run at number one with the most vinyl records sold in a week ever.
Yeah,
he beat old Taylor Swift out of that. Yeah, for Red, which is, I mean, that's really saying something. So for those,
he's officially a juggernaut.
Yeah, he is. He is. And
shout out to our friend Harry Styles.
Yeah, and you know, for those of you,
it's a good record.
It is a great record.
Yeah.
And for those of you at home that are curious, like what this whole record thing means, it is very real and tangible. I mean, that's I can't really recall the numbers, like 170,000.
Let's go to the notes. He's selling over 146,000 copies during its first 3 days, effectively dethroning Taylor Swift for Red.
I mean, it's a lot of records.
How about that?
I tell you, with the shortage of materials and manufacturing issues, it's amazing they got that many done. But there you go. And we still have plenty more, so that's great.
I love it. Let's get to
it. Big release this week. Doja Cat, new album. Has an artist that has been underserved with vinyl leading up to now, but the last record was just huge for us for a long time. So this is going to be a big record.
And possibly retiring from music, maybe not retiring from music, just taking a vacation. Who knows? Yeah, she was talking about that.
Cover art, there she is for space fans.
And what we were talking about, it's like every time I see her, and you kind of felt the same way, like whether she's doing a red carpet or she's, I've seen her do little parts in television shows and stuff. She always looks like a different person.
Yeah, when I had to order the album, I didn't pay attention to the text in the solicitation. I just saw the album cover art, and I didn't even realize it was her. So
I love it, man.
Yeah, that's cool. It's gonna be a big one.
Cool track on there that with The Weeknd. Young Thug is also on there. The Weeknd song is called "You Right," and just going to my notes. Sorry. But it's got this groovy little like modulated lo-fi sample in it that sounds almost like it's on a record. It's really good. I think that one's good. That could quite possibly be a hit.
They're getting tricky with this stuff. Oh yeah, I forgot our routine here. Next up, a guy from England. You may know him. He was in a kind of a big band, little band called Oasis.
Yes.
Liam Gallagher actually has 2 releases this week. This one's on Indie Store, exclusive clear vinyl. His new studio record,
super cool, and
he has his live album, which he put out during the pandemic. It's Down the River Thames, and it's got Supersonic and Cigarettes and Alcohol, along with like his
Champagne Supernova. Yeah, everything you want is on here,
as well as his highly regarded solo tracks, I guess. But big deal, new record from him, and let the nasty twittering
and the if they ever will reunite conspiracy theories, little gasoline on that fire.
Yeah, pretty serious bust up there. So who knows? But
I don't think it ever happens.
His social media is hilarious. He's very funny.
I need to follow him.
He's funny.
All right, good.
Somebody asked him about what he thought of Greta Van Fleet. Very Zepp sounding band of young kids.
Yeah.
And he said that he thought she was doing great things for the environment and fighting. Not even acknowledging them. Okay, these guys are
wrong.
Back.
Greta.
Wrong Greta is so funny. Next up, Def Leppard. Diamond Star Halos, and this band always has a very glam 70s rock bent. I'm guessing that they fully embrace it on this. As you can, if you've heard the sing,
a little T-Rex nod.
Man, I'm all about that.
A lot of the songs are very. There's a little glam sprinkling. Each song has its own little thing. Is this a heritage act? I know you say the words.
I think we have crossed that point where
are they there yet?
Acts are. I mean, I think it's like classic cars, right?
Right.
You can't believe certain cars are classics because they're over 25 years old. I think we're kind of the same way with rock bands. Or
You know,
recording artists in general.
Joe Elliott still sounds good. It's got the Def Leppard production that everybody knows and loves.
And I believe this is their first album in 7 years. They're very smart that about the time people start to miss them, hey, you got a new record. It's a good way to play it.
The groovy back and forth riffing from Steve Collins and Vivian Campbell.
I loved it.
I loved it too.
Yeah, no slight to the eternally shirtless Phil Collins. They actually made him wear a shirt on.
If you once you get to the point that you have abs like that, why wear clothes?
I'm telling you.
We cover all the bases here. Chris is looking at us like, I stopped working for this. Lunatics. All right.
Hey, we're going to keep, this is actually 70s artist. I'm going to refer to her as kind of an 80s artist, but there is a new Ann Wilson record. It's called Fierce Bliss. Ann Wilson of Hearts.
Love the artwork.
Very Roger Dean-esque. I don't think he actually did the artwork.
It's super cool though. And it looks, and this is what you want her album to look like.
Yeah, totally.
And it sounds exactly what you want it to sound like.
One of the great singers. Forget even female vocalists. One of the great rock front people.
And she's still, killing it.
Great.
Appearances from Kenny Wayne Shepherd, Warren Haynes, and studio session bad boy Tom Bukovac.
No, there you go. Well, her sister didn't show up, so.
Well, yeah. So it takes three top tier guitar players to replace one Wilson.
It's a good record if you're a fan of her at all.
It is. It is. Greed, I think, is the single.
Very solid.
Yep, really good.
Okay. Talking about bad guitar, man. We got a new Michael Schenker record, new studio record from former UFO, short time Scorpions lead guitar player, just like one of the best hard rock guitar players ever. He is flying in space on this new album, Universal, in his crazy pod or whatever that is, with his guitar. Because if you're going to fly a spacecraft,
well, it is a flying V,
so
that's where you want it to go. Yeah, you can't go wrong there.
Yeah. Next
Let it shred.
How about this guy, Bruce Hornsby? We're talking about the 80s. I love this album cover. That building is hilarious. It's the way it is. He has a new record. He's, even though he might not be having, huge records, this guy's continually turned out quality music. And sometimes it veers a little bit into jazz territory, always, signature piano.
And I know what you're going to say. I saw him on this when he toured that first time.
Oh, yeah. Did he play Cullen?
Mm-hmm.
Is that right? Okay.
Yeah.
With? I don't remember.
Crowded House.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Were you there? Probably.
I did not see them at that show. That's one of the only Crowded House shows I missed.
That's great. I think that might have been their first Houston show.
It was.
Yeah.
It definitely
super.
was. All right.
It was great.
If you don't think we know stuff, we know stuff.
We know a couple of things.
We know stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to take us our little Texas tour here. Santiago Jimenez Jr.
Yes.
New record from him. He is still kicking people. One of the greats.
Legendary
Tejano accordionist.
If you love Conjunto, this is it. Obviously, very famous brother. Flaco, very famous father. There's a lot of music in that family. And I think I got through the first 3 songs and I was like, yep, it's exactly what you want.
It's what you want. And
good stuff.
Brings the party for sure. You want to hear it.
Get it.
This is a unique record. This is Al Stahaley, for those of you who may not know
now,
him.
this one, I don't know. I don't know.
So Al was, he and his brother, they had a band called Stahaley Brothers, but he replaced the great Randy California in Spirit.
Oh, really?
They made a record or two. And then, of course, Randy came back later. But this record was recorded in the mid-'70s and never released. Al is in Houston. He's an attorney here in Houston. He's also involved with the Steady Boy label, which is our buddy, Freddie City Kirk. But, I like it. These records are popping up that are kind of lost artifacts of the time. It was planned for release, just didn't come out. He did other things, came back to Houston, and so here it is.
Didn't who else from that kind of back then? I don't even know if he's still here. Wasn't the guitar player for Canned Heat lived here for a while too?
That might be right.
Somebody was telling me that. Yeah, I run into what's his name. You'd be surprised who's lived here.
I know. Good place to be.
I walked into Rudyard's one night and was randomly introduced to Sterling Morrison.
Oh yeah. He was here. He was his
of the Velvet Underground. He had a girlfriend here.
Yeah.
He was a I hope I don't get this wrong. I don't know if they call him tugboats, but he was a tugboat
Yeah, he was
captain
a tugboat captain.
in the fascinating guy.
We walked into
Talked to him for like an hour. It was
we were at
amazing.
Treebeards
Yeah.
on Market Square, and he was there, and that we were dining with a mutual friend that
Yeah.
knew him, so we got to yeah,
That's crazy.
kooky stuff.
Yeah.
I know it. Rock and roll legend, driving the tugboat,
Who knows?
eating a bowl of gumbo.
Cheer-ups.
Okay, this is again. We love to do this.
Yep.
Introduce you to new music.
Mhm.
All right, if you're not familiar with this band is on the rise.
Absolutely, 100%.
Very fun. I mean, it's an indie rock thing, but very joyful.
Bad Boy is getting
sound.
a ton of play right now on Sirius XM. 3-piece.
Yeah, it's a Chicago trio.
Yeah.
I just think it's really like there's a lot of.
I'm glad we're featuring it because I've heard the single and I'm like, so I started listening to some of the other tracks and I'm like, yeah, favorite, keep it playlist.
Yeah, they're cool. I
Yeah.
think this band is really going places. That's why I wanted to include them in
Groovy.
the drop.
Go ahead, you go because I know you have some notes.
No, I just think that's one of the best new bands out there.
I have
People need
notes.
to hear 'em.
So Window is a song that really stuck out to me, and all throughout this album, there are like some little shoegazy elements at times.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of what like early MTV new wave you would
Absolutely.
hear, and little Jesus and Mary chain without the ton of reverb.
Yeah,
There are some moments that are like, yes.
grading.
So that's a
Grading in a good
that's a great pick. If you're looking for a new band, go get it.
Yeah, I'm
I really
a
like
fan.
this.
I think
I really
it's.
like
I
this.
think they are
Yep.
happening. You can be ahead of.
Quinn and I will be
these
at the
guys sell a ton of
show.
Records.
We'll be by the merch table when they come. So
Okay, next
there'll
up.
be one drop T-shirt,
Yeah,
duct
totally.
tape to the wall, to the side.
Still, we just take it from gig to gig.
We only have the one
we just
T-shirt.
have
Yeah,
one.
for sure.
That's really all we need.
That's all we need.
We sold one, and then we had big trouble. Okay. This is some wild cover art. This is a Painted Shield.
Painted Shield 2, I believe.
Yeah, it's their sophomore record, and this is Stone Gossard, Matt Chamberlain, Mason Jennings, second record. Sonically, it's kind of, there's a whole lot going on there. It's a
Mhm.
little bit all over the place, but it's cool. The first record got rave reviews.
It's got some groovy moments. It's got some moments that are almost a little bit more experimental. There's one song on there that almost sounds gospel-ish.
Yeah.
Good harmonies.
Yeah, good harmonies. And
Who's
it's
the female?
heavy in
There's a
places.
female voice in there.
I don't know her name.
Yeah, I don't either.
But I
But
think she's the bass player, if I'm not
yeah,
mistaken.
this is definitely a little more to left field. These guys are, like you said, they're really putting up. There's a lot of different seasonings in here.
Yeah, and I think that's most of the Pearl Jam spin-off stuff has been that way. It's been kind of a little fringier and long stretch. I think the name is unfortunate. Yeah, because I've heard people call them Painted Shields. I went there. Okay, next up. All right, big release.
Get a call from their attorneys.
It's coming.
Oh my
It's
God.
coming. The Top Gun soundtrack. Top Gun reboot soundtrack. Get some Lady Gaga on there, a new track from her.
This was probably tough if you're in charge of like curating the music for the top.
Yeah.
For Maverick, right?
Let's see. The first one sold like a gazillion records.
It's still
No pressure. I'm not gonna. worry too much about it.
There are multiple bars in the United States that you walk in and the entire soundtrack is just on repeat.
Oh yeah. I lost my nerve at one time. I met Kenny Loggins, and I wanted so bad to just say, "Dude, you went through the danger zone." But it wasn't the time and place.
There's still time. There's still time.
That may happen.
God. Yeah, I don't know. I know Lady Gaga, but I don't know what's happening here.
We're gonna find out.
We're gonna
right?
okay.
We're gonna
Anyway,
find
but
out. See the film, and you can tell them.
there are people that want to have the OK One Republic, and you get Danger Zone again by Kenny Loggins. Oh my, film score by Harold Faltermeyer and Hans Zimmer.
Well, Axel F.
Come on,
going
man.
there, right?
Yeah, no expense was spared.
Okay, we're gonna move on to some jazz reissues, and these are cool records. Okay, this is kind of a lot of times we feature these like undisputed classics that are by household names
Sure.
that you have to own.
Right.
We're gonna talk about some records that are kind of deep down in it that you're not gonna be familiar with, but maybe you should.
Okay.
First
What do you got?
First up, we got Brother Jack McDuff. I love this title, Moon Rapid. And for those who don't know, he's a jazz organist. This record is noteworthy because it's kind of a concept record, and it's very funky. You get late 60s, early 70s. You get a lot of more soulful funk moving in with the jazz, and this is a record that's impossible to find an original of, so it's cool that it's been reissued.
Yep, only 5 tracks.
Only 5 tracks.
I'm guessing they stretch out a bit on these.
They do, and little known fact about it, everybody calls him Brother Jack McDuff.
Mm-hmm.
The players, his colleagues call him Captain Jack.
Okay.
So there you go.
Knowledge, people.
Little known fact. And we have another hard to find Blue Note record by a jazz organist, and this is Ronnie Foster, Two-Headed Freak.
Nice.
And this is kind of the same thing. This is early 70s creeping in, and there's elements of like Sly Stone and what was really kind of happening in soul music at that time, creeping into this jazz record. And jazz aficionados, really the trend has been to really seek out that kind of mid-period stuff that is very soulful.
I'm just seeing like who else is on here. If there's somebody notable, we need
to
throw out. It's his band, right? Also available on Blue Note stereo tape.
Yeah, that's when they just copied the original artwork, because there is no Blue Note stereo tape. There might be one on special occasion, but generally no. Okay, so we've moved through these early 70s kind of fringier, more underground Blue Note releases, and we're gonna end up with this record, Phil Ranelin.
I don't know this one.
So you wouldn't, and this is the kind of stuff record store people get all kinds of crazy about. If you wanted to buy original of this record, I think right now it would cost you $2,500 to $3,000.
Really?
Impossible to
find.
Independent label, this Tribe label, and this album is called Vibes from the Tribe. This is one of the holy grail records of the spiritual jazz movement, which again was late 60s through mid 70s. Houston actually plays a big part of that because of Bubba Thomas and the Lightmen being from Houston. And, very underground, but very gospel-inspired jazz music. I find that these records, even though they don't really, they never really found an audience, I find them really inspiring and cool records. So, and this is, for people that are, big record collectors, you just simply can't find it.
I didn't know anything about it, and you sent me the list, and I didn't get time to like look it up or anything. But when I heard Vibes from the Tribe, I'm like, oh,
Vibes from the Tribe.
I thought maybe it was a.
You get some sax photos are good on the back, but check it out. And part of jazz is just scratching around and seeking and discovering stuff that you don't know whether you're going to like it or not.
And
just
you're not going to find an original copy.
Not going to find. Well, you might. If you do, bring it here and we'll buy it from you. Because we need some of those.
We'll put it to good use.
Okay, and that closes our jazz portion of the program. Let's talk about some reissues.
There's more. Wait, order now.
There's more.
Order now.
We kicked off the reissue program with like one of the. We just finished with spiritual. I want you to notice how well this segues. All right, we just talked about spiritual jazz.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Aretha's Amazing Grace album, her gospel album, 5-star record. Very bold move at the time for an artist to, at the peak of her powers, at the top of the charts, to make a gospel record. And it's essential listening. It really is. And this is on limited edition white vinyl. They repress it from time to time.
With James Cleveland and the Southern California Community Choir. Yes, indeed.
And of course, her father was C.L. Franklin, very well-known preacher. So, it's her getting back to her roots, and you can feel it when you listen to it. It is a terrific record.
50th anniversary limited edition white vinyl 2-record set. That's super cool, man. That is super, super.
Okay, next on the reissue train. I
haven't seen the documentary.
Oh my God, it is so great! It is so great. I love it. I mean, I've seen countless. I've seen countless music documentaries, and I will tell you, this is one of my absolute favorite film docs about a band, and it has sparked reissues of all the records. So these are 2 Sparks records, 2 later releases from the band. This is Exotic Creatures of the Deep and The Seduction of Ingmar Bergman. And for those of you who don't know about this band, they made 40 plus records. They're all different. You know, they've been maybe not chart successes, but they've anticipated trends and really been incredibly influential. The film is terrific.
So tell them a little bit about the doc, because just the number of artists, like, you know, from the time that contemporaries and like new talent.
Yeah, so they
like
start in
guys.
the early 70s, you know, very odd bands, two brothers, and you know, one plays keyboard, the other one's a singer, and you know, they were just kind of always had a big film buffs. They had a great vision for what they wanted to do. Every record is distinctly different. You know, in the film, you know, Beck is in there, Todd Rundgren,
all paying respects.
All paying respects to like how you know, even in a lot of comedians. You know, I don't know.
I haven't seen it yet.
There's a lot of comedians in there, Patton Oswalt, and a lot of British comedians that just talk about how they just love the band.
So I'm curious, because I know nothing about this album. So was this a film, or this is because it looks like a concept kind of album all the way through?
So in the documentary, it's so kooky because it documents every record equally. Even the big hit records in the early 70s with This Town Ain't Big Enough for Both of Us through like the 80s records. They were popular. They treat their whole catalog with the same regard, which is very unusual for film. Because, you know, usually these film docs about musicians, they quickly gloss over the troubled periods where they're not selling records and usually end up when they're back and doing great.
Well, these guys are a really good example. I was watching an interview with, I'm going to get this guy, I'm going to screw this up, Ted Gaia. Wrote like 2 monumental books on jazz that you've probably heard of, and you just don't know that they were his books. Okay. And this guy's been like just genius level, you know. He's got multiple degrees, went to Oxford. He's just but he writes a lot of his writing is centers around music, and he was a jazz musician for a while, you know, for himself. And he talks about like where music is today and why like the greatest music being produced right now, you're not going to hear it unless you really go look for it.
Absolutely.
Because the industry wants nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
You know, and like these guys were kind of like groundbreaking, and like, you know, the people that knew about them.
And I don't think,
because the only thing I knew about them was that first MTV video.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that kooky video with the white background and the dude's just standing. I can't remember what the song was.
I can't remember the video. I mean, they had a couple.
They had a couple, but I remember
MTV.
the first one I saw, and I was
early
like,
80s,
these guys are just weird.
Early 80s through mid 80s in LA. I mean, they were a really big band. And then, you know, trends changed, things got heavier, got grungier, and they kind of got swept up. But then they became huge in Europe. So finding an audience somewhere. And probably one of the finest examples of follow your muse if you're a musician and just make great art.
Yes.
Okay.
Agreed.
We may have to both hold this because it weighs so
I don't
much.
think I can.
This is I think there's 8, 10 LPs in here. Let's see how many LPs. This is the 8 LP expanded edition of the Nirvana Nevermind with, so you get the album remastered. You got 4 full concerts from Amsterdam, California, Australia, and Japan, 40-page hardcover book, 77 total tracks. Now, this has been available on CD, but I really almost am very surprised that they released the entire thing on vinyl.
Clocking in at 19 pounds.
Woo. Woo. It is a record that's a coffee table.
I've held Les Pauls lighter than this.
That's saying something, music fans.
God.
Hoo-ha.
Give me that thing. We'll have to put it on the floor. We'll just break the table if I said.
Okay. And we're going to close. We're going to talk about, we have an event this weekend, and, you know, Houston's, one thing we're really known for, and is the train in the distance with regards to influence and popularity and how they changed music. DJ Screw and the Chop and Screw hip hop movement. I mean, really, Houston is very well known for that. And there's a new book, Lance Scott Walker, who contributed to this book, which our store friend Peter Best took the photos in it. This is one of our best-selling books ever. Houston rap documents the whole rap scene here in Houston from its very beginning. And so Lance wrote the text for that book, and then he has a new book that is just about DJ Screw, A Life in Slow Revolution. And he's going to be here this Sunday, sign books and meet people. And
that's really cool.
Did
you see the exhibit at CAM?
I did not see the exhibit at CAM. I know. But you know, if you're watching this and you live in Houston, Texas, you need to find out about this guy. He's really one of the most influential musicians out of Houston ever. And I'm very pleased to announce this. We have like literally the last 40 copies of this record, which was the same label that put out the spiritual jazz record that we talked about, the mandolin record.
Yeah.
They licensed this, now sold out online, totally unavailable, can't get it anywhere. We have like the last 40 copies of this DJ Screw.
Get out of town.
So, the legend.
This is very cool.
So come meet Lance this Sunday at 2. And this kind of, again, marks us kind of getting back to events. Author events are easy to do. They're safe. Casual.
Sure.
You want to get a signed copy of this book. Anyone,
call your friends, because you know somebody
out.
that wants this, and when they're gone, they're gone. That's it. That's amazing. That's amazing. You mentioned some returning to in-store activity. What's coming up? Anything you can talk about?
Nothing official on the calendar yet other than this event, but we're planning on announcing a couple of this next week. So pay attention, watch us on our socials, and, you'll see. Hey, we're getting some kind words from the viewership out there.
Hello, Alice.
Hello.
Good to see you.
Hello.
Alice, get down here tomorrow for DJ Screw. Kathy Lee. Hello, y'all. Hello back to you. Adna, hellos, and are those waves or just like, Nirvana? Yeah,
Nirvana, that's right.
Like that one. I thought you'd like that one. Hey, who do we got here? Lisa. Y'all rock? Well, thank you very much. We don't rock. We talk about the rock.
We're talking about
I don't know that we actually do much rocking ourselves. I love that. Man, season 2 is just rocking on down this. Just we're gonna have to do something big for the season finale. I think maybe just a meet and greet with the fans, or
I mean, we have to think of a place that would hold, have the capacity.
Offer some backstage, some backstage content. That they
VIP meet
some
and greets.
VIP meet and greets.
The great thing is you can have a VIP meet and greet with me anytime. When
Sure. There's no
everybody's
pass.
a VIP.
There's no pass necessary. If you haven't been to Cactus, come down to Cactus and do yourself a favor. Support your local businesses, your local record shops, and even if you're just kind of browsing, you're gonna at least learn something new when you come through here, which I think is,
there's lots to look at.
Which I think is amazing. We're gonna wrap this up so Chris can go back to work before he hits me with that label gun. All right, guys, we're out of here. We'll see you next week. More music, more vinyl on the drop. We'll see you next Thursday at 12:30. Peace. I know. Hold the position. There we go.